They heard me. Whoops. Well, hello and welcome to a bit of a different video today. We are on the BMW R90 Scrambler edition. This is the 2020 model, and it's absolutely lovely. Unfortunately, it's got these tyres on it. I will get used to them, but they're really nothing already. I've been on it for about 5 minutes and they're nothing like the previous ones, but it's a beautiful looking bike, and it's got the Akrapovic exhaust. This is a bit different from the standard exhaust, and I'll show you a walk around later, but the plan is just to get a bit further away from BMW Welwyn, and then we'll go from there. So I've got an hour, which is a huge improvement on last time, but I did have to wait about 20 minutes. It was all incredibly busy, and the waiting room, unbelievable. There's a man in there, clearly knows his stuff, and he's been lecturing this poor man, and they said he's been there since about 8:30, and there's nowhere in the showroom you can stand where you don't have to listen to him waffling on. And honestly, I feel like someone should go in and just say, mate, stop talking. Like, I could barely manage it for about 20 minutes, let alone the poor man he's been talking to in there for about 3 or 4 hours. Things I don't like about the bike, and of course I've ridden it before slightly, but this is a different version. So what I'll do, I'll get on, get talking, I'll pull up, I'll give you a walk around. Totally honest, I am looking at swapping the Street Twin for this, so I'm going to see what price they come up with, but it won't be yet. What I need is the work to flow, and my phone has started to ring more, which is exciting. So we're going to go from there really, but first impressions, always something special, this bike. So it's got this huge wide stance to it. It really says to me, you own the road, don't worry. The speedo I said last time was small, and actually that's pretty bearable this time. I'm pretty confident it's the same one, so maybe, I don't know, maybe I was having a bad day with my eyes. Heater grips are on, I can turn them off somehow. Wow, what a beautiful bike. Shame it doesn't have the normal tyres on. They were unsure on when they could give me a date, so what I'll probably do is enjoy this, bring it back, and say, tell me when you get the next one, because these tyres, just little bits on the roundabout there are giving me a whole different feeling. Anyway, let's stop waffling and we'll get on with it. Let's turn those heater grips off. Right, here we go. Whoa. Now I hope the mic's going to pick it up better than it did last time as well. This is my different mic. I've been told this bike has been abused slightly because it was their demo edition. Thank you, my friend. I'd put my hazards on if I could show you. Oh, I don't like the tyres. I asked what the knobbly tyres were like, and he said you had to steer with them a lot. And I fully now understand what he meant by that. Stopping, what I've just noticed is I am on tiptoes. I don't remember being on tiptoes this time. But they were all quite busy in there. It seems like they've had a real staff shuffle around, because the guy I had was actually not a salesman. So I was expecting some salesman patter, you know, this is the best bike in the world, you bloody love it. But I didn't get any of that actually. In terms of the rumble, yeah, that's something else, isn't it? That is so special. Now, I'm not being difficult here. Okay, it wasn't that difficult to get it out for neutral last time. You saw us literally stamping on the peg. Okay, I would adjust the speedo slightly, because it's, look, it flops. Just needs to be held like that so I can actually read it. Anyway. The Street Twin is beautiful. Oh, it's having a real moment. As I said before, this is their loan bike, so it has well and truly been abused, which is a shame. But I didn't experience it last time, so maybe it's operator error. But anyway, let's get out of here so we can be on some better roads. Okay. Honestly, the feeling of riding this is unbelievable. I've got this big tall sort of stance, and the bucket seat is really holding me in very well. The brake peg is more sort of down than I'm used to. And the rock and roll that it's coming with, absolutely brilliant. Right, should we try and overtake? Yep. Hey, beautiful! Yes! I think this is the one. Oh. Oh my goodness. There's just not a feeling like it, and I honestly, if you're tempted by it, have a go on one. Like, it's forgiving enough, but then when you need some, it really goes. Oh, now I see why BMW owners drive the way they do, because once you've built that connection with it, oh, come on, drive around the corner, it is something else. It feels like I've got power anytime you need it. But then it's also quite happy to just plod, you know, just to hold whatever gear you told it. In terms of gears, I don't know what gear I'm in, but actually it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest, as long as it's not neutral or reverse. Here we go. But I feel like this is how biking should be. It should be about the rumble. It should be about the huge road presence. And honestly, I really think it should be. Oh, like having one of these. It's not actually much bigger than a normal bike, to be honest, but the size of the bloody thing is enormous. Brakes, yeah, they feel okay. Of course, it's not my bike, but it's twin Brimbos on the front and a Brembo on the back. Oh. So what we'll do, we'll just do a tiny bit of town riding. But already, I don't want to give it back. There's a few things I'm going to change, and I'll stop and do the walk around in the town. I'll tell you what I don't like, but honestly, I'm impressed. Really, really impressed. Street Twin's lovely, that's the problem. The Street Twin is so nice to look at. And this bad boy, oh, yeah. I don't feel like this on my Triumph, that's the thing. Oh, yep, no, I have got the right gear, brilliant. I don't feel like this on the Triumph, and this is what that little test ride a while ago showed me, was that sometimes you just don't get that feeling you were hoping for. Let's crack this up. I know what's going on. Oh, I thought I knew what was going on. Yeah, it just gives you the confidence to push in like that and say, nah, get your stuff, mate. I'm on the BMW. I get it. I really see what they like. Switch gears, all the switch gears in different places. It really feels like it needs to be rolled up, but then if you roll it up, you wouldn't be able to get to your flasher. It'd be all the way under here. Horn, yeah, it's okay. But again, that's what you're going to get when you go from one bike to another. The Povik exhaust is a bit different, actually. I'm not sure whether I like... I'm not sure, actually. I kind of prefer the stock one from the Urban GS rather than this one, which is the Scrambler with Povik. Everything's got a very nice click to it. Low speed stuff, it's very, very manageable. Would I want to turn it around on a hill? No, I would not. I think that's the path. That's the path, mate. Thank you. Right, quick whiz. Should have done this in the BMW shop anyway. Could have had a BMW push. But low speed, very controllable. We're doing about 10 here. Very, very easy to control. I've got the clutch in, obviously. Let's try a UE. Yeah, feels good. Oh, nearly dropped it. Obviously, when it's not your bike, it's tricky to build up that. Oh, yes. Yes, please. Thank you, kind lady. I'll be having that. Side stand easy to find, quite a long one, but the lean is not too bad at all. Excellent, right, quick wee and then I'll come back to Targ. I'm back. You don't see that on normal test rides, do you? Anyway, should have done it at the BMW shop. Yeah, probably. Okay, so the initial impressions I'm really, really impressed by. Would I have these tyres? Absolutely not. Not unless I was doing some crazy journey where I could get through Europe on normal tyres and then swap to knobblies. I think they look great, but it certainly doesn't give me that confidence that the slick ones were giving me. Because the profile is quite tall, you can see where everyone rides, the grey bit, and obviously you don't want to be on that black bit, and there's a reason for that. And the shaft drive, yeah, really, really easy to get used to, and it's giving me a feeling that you just don't get from another bike. Well, there we go. I'm getting that nice little backfire every so often. Nice little backfire every so often. And when you roll off the throttle, you do get a nice little sort of plod. Finding the indicator is quite difficult. There's quite a lot of bit of thought involved, but again, I test rode this last time. And I didn't have any of those problems. Now I did ideally try and get on the exact same bike, but there you go. I really hope that those little bangs are being picked up on the mic. If I put my feet fully flat, the peg is in my shin, so I imagine that would get quite annoying. But where it wants you to put your feet, I don't know. One on there? I think that's just part of the character that you could get used to. How's the suspension feeling? Yeah, wobbly, but not unbearable. That is the bike doing it. So I'll put my feet perfectly flat on the floor. Yep. So I'm keeping my hips perfectly straight, my legs straight, and I'm just preparing myself slightly for the weight, obviously, so I don't drop it. But a little rumble. You can hear a slight click. What does the click mean? Well, the click means it's firing slightly before, and that is something it would do with bad petrol in it. So who knows what sort of petrol they've got here. What sort of feeling does it give me at low speed? Well, you know, a reassuring one. I'll just tilt the speed up so I can read it. 35, let's bring that down. There you go. Good example of the engine braking there. Really, I've only touched the brakes so far when I come to a stop. On my street train I'm a bit stabby with the rear brake. If you've ever ridden behind me, you know what I'm like, but that's because the engine is so smooth it will just pile over anything you've told it to do, really. No, it's a beautiful bike. Beautiful, beautiful bike. It's so reassured in itself, and it's given me that confidence back that I had on my old Bandit. You know, you knew it was a big heavy lump. You knew you weren't being seen as some little scooter rider or some little 125 Deliveroo guy. And honestly, I'm so impressed. The work has started flowing again. I'm booked for September and December, which is so exciting. I've never been that far booked ahead. But the most important thing about being freelance is not to count your eggs before they've been laid or something. Not to count your chickens before they've hatched. Thank you. The important thing is not to count your chickens. Not to count your eggs before they've hatched. Basically, don't spend the money till you've got it. And financially, I could do it tomorrow if I really wanted to, but let's go. Yes. This is all just first gear. The little rumbles that it comes with. Lovely. Thank you. Come on then. You've overtaken me. Set the pace, mate. Just make sure he's not going to squish me. Oh. Yeah. Okay. It's the tyres. Exactly what I'm doing. Yeah, I am sure about the bike, but I'm not sure about the tyres, and I know every time I say it that's going to sort of clang and we're going to hear it, but oh, should point out I know the brakes are better. I feel like I'm making a lot of excuses for it, but that's only because I know. Oh, okay, I think we're going to give up with that bit. Yeah, if it's shut I'll give up. Nice. If you're wondering what I keep giggling at, just in case it's not coming through on the video like I hoped. You certainly announce your presence on one of these. How's it handle at low speed in little towns? Yeah, absolutely perfect. Stunning. Both the bike and all these little places that I'm riding through, absolutely beautiful. Just do a quick sound check for you. Perfect. Engine braking, really strong. Those little bangs are incredible. Just a naughty little go blah blah blah. What a feeling. Could I put up with that every day? Yeah, I really think I could actually. It gives you that kind of confidence on the road that I think BMWs just generally do. So we'll just stop here and I'll talk you around it. Oh, lovely. Okay, so here we are. This is the BMW R9T. This is the Scrambler edition. And honestly, I'm pretty sold. If it turned up on my drive yet tomorrow, I'd be very, very happy. Would I sell my street twin for it? You know what? Actually, I kind of think I would. It's got something about it that I wasn't expecting, and the confidence it gives you. Look, just look at the engine there. If the engine was in line with that, it would be like a nice slim little runaround, but the fact that it's so muscly and sticks out is really something special. And I've noticed as well, the way I talk about this, although I talk about the street twin with a lot of energy, the way I talk about this is unlike anything else. What would I change about this bike in particular? Those would go. The gold rims are an option, but honestly not exactly something I'd fall for, to be honest. But ultimately, if you ask me the question, would I swap the street twin for this? Actually, I think it'd be a yes. The street twin has something about it, and there is something really nice being able to say you're British with a British bike. But there's nothing wrong with the other bikes here, and they do have something special about them. The details I'm really liking: the suspension covers here, the LED indicators are stock, of course that beautiful engine that's so hard to describe. It's got a flapper in the exhaust, that's to do with building up back pressure, but really, in person it looks a lot better than it does on the camera, but still, it's a beautiful bike. It's not an LED headlight. The new one has the LED headlight, it's got a sort of running light along there. But it's got the little BMW symbols, and there's no question of what you're riding here is a BMW. There are things I don't like this hideous contraption here. But again, on the newest model that I can't afford, they've covered that up with a little plate. It probably still looks like that underneath, but there's nothing stopping me potentially attaching something to that. And, you know, making a little gauze of mesh that could potentially hide that. See, that's the battery there. I thought that would bother me more, but it actually really doesn't bother me too much. I would just take the battery out, paint it black and put it back in, so it kind of blends in. But it doesn't bother me too much. There's your battery box. What else have we got under here? I don't know what that thing is. It's a bit weird looking. Suspension. And again, nice little pin indicators, just big enough. Anyway, I hope that's answered some of your questions. It's answered a lot of mine, so we'll jump back on and then we'll get going. Oh, I totally forgot to give you guys a sound check. I always forget. So we're in neutral. A nice humble start. It's not quite much of a bang that the Urban GS standard exhaust has. That was a 2-into-1, this is a 2-into-2, so 1-into-1 per cylinder, but still got it. And the whole bike just wants to be alive. If you look, it really is just going, ride me, ride me. Very beautiful. Anyway, let's get on it and continue riding. I've got about 20 minutes and the journey is very close to 20 minutes, so I'm going to be careful. But also, I don't think they took particular notice on when I took it out, but they're nice people actually. I'm really warming to them. It was not quite the welcome I was hoping for when Jesus. Okay, getting it off the stand on a hill as someone of my small stature in the leg department only is a bit difficult, but I did it. Nutty. Okay, the problems we had earlier about not being able to get into gear, I think it has sat still for quite a while. But already people are hearing me, which is lovely. The tyres, no, I really would not ever put knobbly tyres on it. It's bearable. The seat, yeah, not quite what I'd hoped for. It's not flat, basically. It's got a bit of sculpting. Yeah, the seat is not flat. It's got a bit of sculpting to it, and what that actually means for you is you've pretty much just got one place to sit in it. But I'm not getting any of the wobble, and even if I do wobble it, it's so easy to stop that. Whereas my street twin kind of does get a bit continued, a bit carried away with its own rubble. Yeah, let's give it a wiggle. Lovely. Not afraid of this at all. So one thing I thought I'd be worried about is the weight and the size of it, but look, not worried at all. It's huge. Really, I think I could handle this. And I know I can handle it. And also when it's your own bike, you know, you're a bit less worried about it. Would I commute on this? No way. Not a chance. Maybe if it was only a quick meeting and then I'd have to meet some people, yeah, I'd commute on it. But, would I wake up every day and go, "Goh, I can't wait to wingle this thing around London"? No. No chance at all. I would wake up and want to do the commute on this, you know. Right now I've got no time, no particular time to be anywhere except returning it, but they know what the roads are like. I'm not going to go around that corner because I don't... No, that's why I don't round the corner. You just don't know, do you? It hasn't been used for so long. It was sat in the actual showroom when I arrived. Normally the test ride bikes are sort of put outside in shame. I'm going to use them as cover. Yeah, lovely. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Sounds like I'm doing some sort of remix. But no, now it's been ridden a little bit and the oil started flowing again. Neutral's so easy to find. When I first got on this bike, as we saw, it was all a bit awkward. But no, totally doable. And you do get a little thud. You don't get the chain slack that you do get on a chain bike. You obviously get that little chain movement that really reassures you what you're riding, but no. You do still get a bit, actually, of a click, as we just heard, but yeah, when you change gear on a bike with the chain, you get that confident thud, and you know that it's definitely in gear because you've heard the gearbox thud and you've heard the chain tension, and that's what creates that kind of thunk noise. But this one still gives you a bit. Engine braking's doing a lot of work for me. We're only in second gear. How do I know I'm in second gear? Officially I don't. If you just remember what you did last time. And again, the torque on this would really get you through whatever you needed to get through. Oh, I'm going to be bringing it back late. I hope they don't mind. I'd be bringing it back a bit quicker if this guy got on with it. It's not quite what I hoped for. And that was an ugly woman. Oh, they heard me. Whoops. That's very awkward. Good job I'm on the BMW. I'm going to go a slightly different way. It's 1 o'clock. What is everyone doing? It's 1 o'clock on a Tuesday. I really thought, I guess it's the school run, but I'm not sure. No, you don't. Right, we're going to try and make some good progress now, but we're not going to rush, because ultimately it's very easy to apologise, and as long as I'm not like an hour late back, I'm sure they won't mind. But no, my reflecting thoughts on the bike I'll save for a little bit more. You notice I'm in my gold top jacket again. I got that done at Hideout Leathers. I'm sure we've all heard of Hideout Leathers, but if you haven't, and you've got an old jacket that you need to feel a bit comfier again, then they are magic. They make suits from scratch at the back of their little workshop thing. So instead of having the time, you know, you could have 3 bars that just show you how full you are. 3, I think you get 4 in there, you know. If you look at how big the 1 is on that clock, if they were like slots and you just got 4, you know, 4, 5, whatever, so possible, and they're German, why didn't they think of that? Other things I don't quite understand why they did it. This huge empty gap here, so I'm just watching in front of me, that massive empty gap there, when it's not telling you for the last 20 miles that you've got low fuel, why isn't there a little number of what gear you're in? You know, it's so easy to make all their other bikes that are shaft drive have the gear indicator, and they even have it changed to the TFT screen, so you know exactly what's happening on your TFT screen. But look, it's a waste of space, that is. You see it on the last 20 miles of your journey when you've got low fuel. And in terms of fuel range, I am getting about, they said I'd get about 170, 180 a tank, depending on how fast I rode, which is totally fine by me. A lovely little howl, I hope you hear that. Incredible. It sticks to whatever line you just told it to do. I'd hoped this journey had been a bit faster, and had I had more time there was a bit bumpier route that I was going to be brave and try, but the whistling is from my helmet, of course, but it's just gliding along in whatever gear. Let's go off a gear. You just kind of get this ongoing drone, but not unbearable at all. It's kind of like a, hard to describe. And that's the trouble, is I don't know if you'll hear it in the edit, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. So just as we're plodding along, I kind of hope we'd do this a bit faster, but there you go. Would I swap this for the twin? Yeah, I would. I'm really sorry. I love the twin. I love everyone who's got a twin. But until you ride something like this, and I look down and I go, bloody hell, I'm controlling this. So I'm just watching. Look at that. Would I buy this exact bike? No, there's a huge scratch here that I hate, and the tyres are unbearable. They're stupid big knobbly ones, which is a shame. I could work with them, but when I go off-road, it's only really gravel, you know. It's like someone's drive. Gravel and a few dips. And I've enjoyed the byways, but you could do them on anything, and proved exactly by the fact that one time when I didn't take the camera, I was following a Fiat 500 along, and I just thought, well, if a Fiat 500 can make it, then so can I. And what's this bike doing? Well, when it gives you, when you want to go, it goes, but it's no complaints from it at all. Just, that's what I really enjoyed on my last test ride of this bike, was no matter what you come up with, it's got it for you. If I want to overtake after these cars, I could do it. I could totally do it, but it's a bit risky with the roundabout and stuff, so I'm not going to do it. But it really just says to me, I've got you. I'm not even braking. Now I am. But if you've ever needed an example of why not to go fast on a motorbike, bang, there you go. Not something I'd want to put myself through. And they're going to cut me up, yep, thought so. Am I in the wrong lane there? There's no lane markings telling you which one you should do. I mean, it's not a right turn, is it? Oh, it's not a very fun thing to follow. Sorry guys, I'll try and get around it for you. Levers, yeah, they feel okay. Ideally, I'd like the clutch a little bit nearer to it. I've got small little hands. And I haven't got the, you know, the big German hands that they probably used as a prototype, but I absolutely love it. What's it missing? Not much. So far in my hour, I've never reached for anything that didn't exist. It's got traction control, it's got ABS which you can turn off. And it can be as loud as you want, or as quiet as you like, really. Let's just bring it back down. Yeah, that speedo, I'm going to ask him about that when I get back and say, should it be? Just being careful because I can hear. Where are they? I can go in front. I don't know if you can hear that on the mic there, but I could hear sirens, but I think everyone got the gist of why I was going so slow. But no, gears wise, I know exactly where I am. And I'm reaching exactly for the right points. Tipping it in, yeah, no trouble. Wow, beautiful. Sold, sold, sold. So I'm here in the BMW sort of living room area. Wow, words can't describe how fun that test ride was, and I really love the Street Twin. It has something about it when you look at it and what it means for, you know, I have classic Triumphs in my family, and that's the kind of thing it means to me. But ultimately, the ride experience I had today was unlike anything else, and I just can't describe it. I'm sure I could modify the Street Twin, but then I might as well have just gone for BMW. So really impressed, really, really impressed. I'll show you around in a moment. I'm sure you've seen a BMW studio before, but I like Triumph, really do, but it feels so thin and so wiggly and not quite what a motorbike should be. You know, I get off it feeling, oh, that was fun. But I get off the BMW and I'm still a little bit shaking from the rumble. But nothing hurts, nothing aches, but I feel like I earned that ride, and I feel like I was there on that ride. You know, I feel I really embraced it. Whereas on the Street Twin, it's beautiful when you're on it, and the amount of compliments I've had on the looks are unbelievable. Before I rode the Triumph, I rode a Moto Guzzi with the shove drive and the V engine, and that was a nice rumble, but I was buzzing too much at the end of it. Whereas the BMW feels refined enough that you're not uncomfy on it, because you remember, I've been out on an hour, getting to the Lake District. I'll be on that thing for 5 hours before I get to my B&B, so that's the kind of thing I'm thinking about here. But ultimately, I'm pretty sold, I'm sorry that a lot of you probably won't want to hear that, but really, yeah, give it a few weeks, and once I've made my decision, I think I'm going to swap. But I have just applied for 2 jobs, so if I get those jobs, what it means is my summer will be working, which I'm so excited for. I'll still be able to do all the camping trips and the helmet head run and stuff like that, but if I get either of those jobs, my summer will be working, and I'll hold on to the Triumph for a little bit longer. Not that I knew the virus was coming, but when I swapped from the Suzuki Bandit to the Triumph, I said, oh, imagine how much fun and places I'm going to go in 2020. So I got to go to some cool places, but certainly not what anyone had in mind. So now I've got the choice, and now I know there might be some work coming up, then we're going to wait and see. But anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've ridden one of these bikes or you've got one, tell me down below. I'm just here with some of the road versions of it, and I've had my haircut if you're wondering. But yeah, something about them is just unbelievable. It's really hard to say, but what have I spent my money on over summer stuff? Slightly Triumph upgrades, but mainly I've been upgrading my camping kit. And actually, what have I put on my bike? I put a £50 radiator cover on, and a £50 headlight cover, and two £40 exhaust guards. But apart from those exhaust guards, I've really not changed much about the bike, and the bike is so stock that I really wouldn't be losing too much money on it. And you know, I knew that maybe I might swap, so I didn't change the exhaust, I didn't take the cat's converter out, so haven't spent too much money on my Triumph really. You know, people say I'll lose money on it, but what, the mileage is going down, the model year is getting older, there's nothing that bike could do to make any more money. So ultimately, I've had it for nearly 2 years. I own it outright, of course, there's no finance involved, so I can make the decision. I just hope it's the right decision. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you again soon.